12:59.
All right.
Okay. It's 5 o'clock and I'm going to call this meeting to order of Point Edward Village Council, October 22nd. First of all, I'll read the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral lands of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. It is through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. Is there anyone with pecuniary interest? None.
I am a senior, but I don't think I have any.
I'm more senior and I'm okay. Okay. The next thing is we have a delegation tonight. So I'm going to invite, are you both coming or?
I'm gonna come closer, but she's gonna do the presentation.
Okay. I don't have her name on the our sheets. So if you would, maybe you could introduce her. Mr. Weaver?
No, I don't remember names either.
Oh.
I've been talking to her, I'm not on the committee.
Oh,
I'm Lois.
oh, it's Lois. Gee, sorry, LaFawn.
It's okay.
See, I got it.
Yeah.
You came with him. I thought you were somebody else.
I didn't come with him.
No. Okay, I don't want to start anything.
Okay.
Lois is our Point Edward rep, so sorry about
Yes,
that.
I am.
Thank you.
Yeah. And years ago, I sang Old Canada.
That's right. It's all coming back.
Okay, good. Just want to say thank you for allowing us to come and make a presentation. What I'm going to talk about today is something that each one of us is going to eventually have to deal with, and that's getting older and finding out what is or what isn't available out there. And I've been a member of this team for almost 2 years, and I found out that I didn't know a whole lot about what goes on in our community, in our county, or anything else like that. I've learned a whole bunch of new language. Let me go back to the beginning. What we're doing here is we're aiming to educate. Education is probably the best weapon anyone has, is to be educated, to be knowledgeable, to know. And it's really important for us. Okay. Some of the background, and I'm assuming that you've all read your packages, and so I'm just going to be highlighting some things. Some of the things that were noted that all counties are needing, there's low staffing for anything that happens. You know, if you're looking and wanting help for anything, you're on a waiting list usually, and that can a waiting list for transportation, health, communication, and just somebody knowing that you're there. And we are planning for making lives easier and for giving people respect. And that's basically what our aim, our goal is, to make sure people have a good, healthy life, that they have a support system, and we're part of their support system. You're part of their support system. And it has just been something that has been needed for a long time. People don't like talking about getting old. People don't like even planning on getting old, but it's a conversation that many people need to purposefully have. When my mom, she's getting old, that was a conversation I made sure I had with her. I'm not dying yet. Well, no, but there's going to come a time when we have to have this conversation, and neither one of us is going to want it. So you make conversation when you're able to, and you tell people, and you write it down, and you know, you get some sort of plan going on. Here in Lambton County, we have an aging population. But I'm sure you already knew that. We have a higher portion of seniors than most others do in Ontario. Seniors are a priority here in Lambton, because we have so many, okay? And we are trying to build on an age-friendly community, and you probably heard the age-friendly expo that we had here at the arena. Sorry, drew a blank. Senior moment. And I was part of the age-friendly planning committee. And it was great seeing how, and I've got to thank you personally for making that available to us. It was a great place to use. It was big, and the staff that were at the arena there, they were awesome, just absolutely awesome. They were just so helpful. Now, the committee Bill and I are on we started work February 2023. And our motto, I kind of skipped ahead on that, but our motto is all seniors are entitled to age safely and with dignity. And when we sit back and we think about what our lives might be like if we didn't have good health, if we didn't have transportation, if we didn't have people to take care of us, and you didn't talk to people. And many seniors spend days without talking, and that affects their mental health as well. And so getting people to talk and getting people to know and talk, and share, that's so very important. Educate, and make sure you make plans. What we do as the committee is we report to wardens and county council on issues that affect Lambton County seniors. We have 11 members, and they're from each one of the 11 counties. We also have a Lambton County councilor, one Lambton staff member, and one member from the Navigating Senior Care Lambton. Our goal is to identify concerns. And to ensure that somebody hears about it, and to ensure that there is going to be support for them. Now, one of the seniors I just talked to recently, she says, I have arthritis so bad, but I have to go to London. She's able to go to London, but there's many people that can't go to London because there's not the transportation. They can't go, and they have no support system. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make it and really shout it loud. Here's a way to get help, but we find it hard to get the information out there because, we don't have a budget. We're into our second year, and we're going to be asking county council for some sort of funding, and I'm asking for something over 5,000, but that's just me. But we're planning on Bill and I were here, and we were talking about things what the money's going to do. It's not just going to be for printing things. It's going to be useful things that we're going to get out to people, actual hands-on things. At the Age-Friendly Expo, I was talking to an EM person, and she said that they have these cards that you can put on your fridge. You put all your information, your medicine, who your contact is, your emergency, everything like that. And they know that when they come in, there's an emergency, that's what they look for. Because, in an emergency, you can just kind of go, I don't know. And we're trying to make things easier. We hear, we bring it back, we talk.
Yeah.
We're interested in improving it. Sorry if I go over 10 minutes, I talk a lot. We're trying to enrich health for seniors, and the quality of life. We're acting as liaisons, trying to, somebody comes to me, I'm gonna see what I can do to help them, okay? Sort of like what you do. Okay. We're looking at improved transportation, getting them to have a sense of belonging in their community. Yeah, transportation, communication, healthcare. And they need to have a plan for when you get older. And if you don't have a plan for when you get older, and you never know when you're going to need the healthcare system, I suggest you talk to your elderly parents or aunts and uncles or something like that. Some of our accomplishments, yeah. The age-friendly committee, I was on that and I learned a lot and I smiled a lot, and I was part of the education team. And we had a lot of people there educating, making it accessible for everybody, and that, I never knew that would, and I kept hearing about that. And it was wonderful hearing, it was just wonderful hearing that we were doing something for them that they could actually take home and use. Our committee had a table there, and Bill could easily talk about that. There was a lot of people going by that never knew we existed. Well, again, we're just 2 years into this, and we're trying to make ourselves known. And as we go forward for next year, what we're hoping to do is be at more things, make ourselves more noticeable. We're still in the learning process and trying to figure out what all is going on. We're in partnership with libraries, getting information out to libraries because that just seems to be a good hub for them. Transportation is a major concern. If we have something going on here and somebody can't get to it, they're not going to walk. Transportation is the issue. And we have, what's really cool, I really liked having at the table, we had experts or people who were really good at a field or knew a lot, and they would come and talk to us who didn't understand. And they made it really plain. We had handouts. It was really, really exciting for me. But again, our goal is to educate. I kind of touched on promoting us, and we're limited to the money and the fact that people don't recognize as well. We're just in for a second year, but watch out next year. We hope to be at a few more things and make ourselves known and help more seniors. And we have limited opportunities to promote. And our next step, well, we'll have to figure that one out because we have plans for next year. But I'm at the end of my time for talking, but do you have any questions or comments?
Councilor Burgess?
One, my parents live in the village. My dad's 80, my mom's almost 80. I've been living this with them. And one thing I talked to my mom this morning that she really liked was the EMS visits through the county. And I don't know, is that just a COVID? I'm not sure if anybody can answer that, but my mom's request was, is there any way that could go again? Because they would come and see my dad on a weekly basis. It was Lambton EMS, check his vitals, talk to him about meds. And there was several homes in Point Edward that they visited. My aunt, who's since passed away, she was in her 90s living at home, and she got that as well. So I don't know if that could be resurrected.
It's still ongoing.
Is it?
Yeah, I have an aunt, just moved into long-term care, but she was getting it 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
So I don't know how you get on that list. I assume it's going to be referred by a doctor.
Okay, so it does still go.
Sorry, I do know, I talked, the EM that I talked to, she said, get a group of people we'll come, we'll talk, we'll check everything, and we can set it up on a rotating basis. Okay, so it kind of has to be initiated from where they are. You know, if it's one person, they'll come, but I think it works better for them if it's more than one person. And also they get a chance to talk, you know, and that's half the battle, is getting them to talk with each other. And, yeah, so, yeah, get them to talk it up and get them to get a group together. I think maybe 2 or 3 would be a group, but
Okay,
that could be something that they could do and talk to them.
okay. I know she spoke very highly of that, and the people that came into the home were always really good, and I'm not sure how they got out of that, but I know they have good benefits. My dad had a good employer, and so he qualifies for a lot of private care and things like that, but I know not everybody gets that.
Right.
Is it worth mentioning?
I
too,
was just
for-
gonna
for
say, I
people
will
that
follow up with
Our fire department
when Stephen
will
comes.
come in and help for a lift too. If someone has fallen, they'll come in, no
Mhm.
lights, no sirens, and they've done that for my dad a few times. And I don't know how much people know about that, but that was really been helpful, just, you know, so our Point Edward Fire Department's been really good with seniors.
I live over in the village and I see them come through quite often, and no lights, but they'll come and help pick up people.
I'll follow up with the supervisor. He comes to the county meetings, and I know one of their initiatives was, the more they see people in their homes, it cuts down on the number of visits to ER. And that there was a program, so I don't know if that program's still ongoing, but I'll
Okay.
talk to him. But they did see results of less emergency visits because they were being taken care of. I'll follow up and
Okay.
with your question. And thank you very much for
Oh, you're welcome.
both of you for attending today and bringing us up to speed. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No,
I know our time's up, but I just-
no,
Oh, no.
just to summarize,
you're
It's all
here.
good.
We didn't call the clock.
what we're here is just what happened there with the awareness of something that we need to get back to and how we can help communicate that out to the seniors. So one of the things that we've talked about at some of the other, we're going to all the councils, just so that counselors see it, I don't know whether you share the minutes from our meetings with the rest of the counselors or whether they get that, but we want to make sure that everybody in the county knows about us, what the committee's doing, and how we can communicate that to everybody in the county. So one of the things that was suggested, if we had a blurb or a portion that could go out in a water bill or in a tax notice, whether you do a quarterly billing that you can add something to it. We would like to, see if it's possible to add something from the Seniors Advisory Committee.
Yeah,
and a
we do a
contact,
newsletter, so
and a 211, just to
Mhm.
communicate that, to find out where we can help. So we, like I said, we will be asking, the committee will be asking the county for a budget of some kind. Just there's been nothing to do any
Yeah.
printing or mailing or any of that, and that's basically all we, social media is great,
yeah,
doesn't work for all seniors, so that's why we need to try a old fashioned way. There's no newspapers anymore. The live streaming of these meetings will get to some people
Yes.
that watch the meeting, so that's our purpose for doing going around the county.
so we'll make a note of that. We just did a newsletter recently, but we're doing
There'll be
another
another one.
quarter.
I'm
So
sure.
now we have a topic for the next one.
There you go.
Mayor, Mayor,
Deputy Mayor Grimes.
I was just thinking, we issue a hard copy calendar every year in the village
Okay.
and seniors tend to rely on that calendar, like very heavily. So I'm wondering if there's any way Shelley could carve out even a small bit of space for
Space.
your committee, or just how to get more information.
For next year.
Oh, is it already done for this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's gone to publication, has it not?
I don't know.
I think it's out.
It'll be close. but
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, we'll keep it for
We'll be around next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now that you know.
Anyway,
Yeah, now you know about it. Yeah, but Yep.
thank you.
yeah, no
Thanks for
problem.
coming.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to adoption of minutes. And the first item is council minutes from the meeting of September 24th. Mover and seconder, please. Councilor Burgess, Deputy Mayor Grimes. Any questions on those minutes?
I have one, Your worship. And one of the new business items was that we were going to review the fence bylaw. Is anything done on that? It's not
We're working on it. Yeah.
been great, thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Council meeting or council minutes from October the 8th. Mover and seconder, please.
I'll move.
Council Mondu, is that your side of the table? Mhm. Any questions? No questions? All in favor? Thank you. So, business arising from the minutes, we had a question and answered. So we move on to financial reports. So general operations, financial statements for September.
Move that the total revenues and general operations for the month of September 2024 in the amount of $21,185.87 be approved. And that the total expenditures and general operations for the month of September 2024 in the amount of $1,258,744.17 be approved.
I'll second that.
Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, move on to environmental services, same for September.
I will move that the total revenues in environmental services for the month of September 2024 in the amount of $0 be approved. And that the total expenditures in the environmental services for the month of September 2024 in the amount of $78,447.88 be approved. And that updated financial statements for the month of August 2024 showing revenues of $144,481.58 and expenditures of $150,000 or $150,131.62.
I'll second that.
Any questions? All in favor? Okay, move on to committee reports. And the first one is operations from October the 8th.
I'll move that the minutes of the operations committee meeting held on October 8th be approved as circulated.
Seconded, Councilor Burgess.
I've just got a couple
Highlights.
quick items, highlights. We had a presentation from one of our residents, Kirsten Kilner Holmes, on multi-use path signage down under the bridge. And also Tristan Bassett from New Sarnia Foundation. They were here to speak with us. And we also forwarded a copy of the Paradigm Traffic Report to both of those individuals list. Second item was the operations manager was receiving a quote for the electrical installation and concrete under for a second location at Waterfront Park, and this will be discussed later in our agenda. That's all I got.
Any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Moving on to fire committee, October the 8th.
I'll move that the minutes of the fire committee meeting held October the 8th, 2024 be approved as circulated.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. The only highlight I have is the open house was held last week, very well attended. And another successful night by our volunteers and our staff, and thanks to them for their hard work and dedication.
There's lots of good feedback from the people that attended. Councilor, I got a second. All in favor then? Thank you. Environmental services, October the 8th.
I will move that the minutes of the environmental services committee meeting held October 8th, 2024 be approved as circulated.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Mondu.
And don't have any updates from
Okay.
that meeting.
All in favor or questions? Anyway, sorry.
I was going to ask, there's a comment in the minutes about the air quality filters. And I think someone asked if there was any difference from the filters, and the reply to the question was no, not at all. Is maybe with Jay on the line, are you not seeing any difference at all in air quality with those HEPA filters running?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. It's hard to say, like, as far as we're changing the filters, they're catching, they are cleaning dirt, as to say whether it's helping the air quality without having an actual lab come in and see what's still in the air. Like, we can't see the pores from the mold in the filter. We don't know if they're in there or not. It's not a visual thing. As far as being sick, this is the wrong season to ask.
Yeah.
I myself have been sick, so I don't know whether it's helping that way or not. I'd like to believe it's helping, but to be able to say yes or no, I can't give that answer.
And given the ongoing delays, like, should we be introducing more air purification control in that space? Or because if what we have now is not making a difference, should we then be increasing the amount of air that's being treated or exchanged?
I don't know how we do that without spending a large sum of money to fix something that
But I'm even thinking more of these portable machines in the space.
we have 3 of them in now.
Okay.
So both office spaces, my office space and the shared office space has one, and there's one in the basement where the staff have to use for their lunch areas. So it's pretty much got the building covered. We
Okay.
could put one in the lab, but there's really no space in the lab being so narrow. We'd have to block off one of the doors, and then we'd only have a single point of entrance and exit for it. Like, we'd basically block an exit route by putting one at the doors.
Okay. And I say the reason I bring it up is it's a known health and safety issue. And then when our minutes say that they're not making a difference, it just worries me that, is it a safe environment for the staff? That's all. And is there more we could be doing to make it safe?
I guess I won't say it's not making a difference. I don't know how to quantify it without paying a lab company to come in and do testing of the air again to see if it has made any difference. And even then, from day to day, we'd have to have regular testing done on random days to be able to actually quantify if there's a change or not.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor? Finance Committee of October 8th.
I move that the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held October 8th, 2024 be approved as circulated.
I'll second that.
My favorite highlight, there's a few changes we made on things, but my favorite highlight is having the approval that we're gonna get a sign on the 402
Yes.
acknowledging that you're entering Point Edward. I've always said there's one when you come off the bridge,
Mhm.
just the MTO signs, not those beautiful beady
Mhm.
signs that we have made, just the blue sign, Point Edward Village of population. And it's gonna be coming in from the east. Now, I haven't saw it yet. I travel to 402 every day, but hopefully we see it soon.
Now you've got me thinking. I've been avoiding the highway so much, so, but next week we'll be back probably riding the highway we can watch.
I use it every day, so.
I'm being optimistic.
Supposed to be tomorrow morning,
No, up to 26th.
that's 23rd.
The bridge is social, but there's still gonna be construction on the highway.
Okay, yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not stopping.
Yeah, that's 2 years.
Yeah.
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 Okay, we'll watch, figure it out.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, move on to miscellaneous reports.
I'll move that the police services board meeting minutes of July 25th, 2024 be received and filed.
Seconded. Council Proctor. Okay, any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, communications receive and file 1 through 4. Council Burgess,
I'll second it.
Deputy Mayor Grimes, all in favor? Thank you. And we'll move on to new business. And the first item is village committee advertisement.
So there's 4 committees that we look for volunteers or members for. And current term ends at the end of this year, so I think it's time to advertise. So just put together the advertisement and make sure that council is still supportive of this direction. And I'll advertise it tomorrow if that's the case.
And when's the deadline for applying?
November 21st, which is like a few days before the next
So
council.
that's what I was getting at. So we would review it at the November council meeting. Finalize. Okay, thank you.
Where do we advertise it?
We put it out on Facebook and Constant Contact. Yeah, just our social, I don't think we've done it in the newspaper. We just use our social media.
We put it on our website.
Probably, yeah.
Just to review the process. So do you interview or speak to applicants and then bring a short list to council? Or-
No, not generally.
Okay.
We haven't in the past. We just bring a list to council and say these individuals are interested in these committees. We do it in camera
Mhm.
because it's it's identifiable individuals and then council makes a decision on where to go.
Okay.
I usually contact existing members
I was just
just
gonna
to
ask
make
that.
sure that they are aware that their appointments are up.
Yeah.
Or need to reapply if they're interested in staying on.
Okay, what is happening?
So I'll move that the advertisement for public committees be circulated in order to seek applicants.
In the venues that we discussed.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Council Mondu. All in favor? Okay. And the next item is waterfront park, second food services vehicle location.
So this is an extension or additional information to the report that the operations manager took to the operations committee. We've had, as council I think is aware, we've had someone offer to lease the site for $40,000 a year. Which just happens to be what the operations manager has come up with a price. $20,000. Let me just make sure. Yeah, $20,000 for electrical work. So it's kind of hard to quantify that number, but thinks that's probably a little bit high, but erring on the side of caution. So 20,000 for electrical work, 15,000 for asphalt and preparation of pad and asphalt, and then 5,000 for contingency work. So the recommendation is to talk to the individual that's interested in putting his truck there, having him sign a lease for next year, and once we have the signed lease, then move forward with getting the work done to have the have the spot prepared.
Deputy Mayor Grimes?
Is this the same person that applied previously and went?
Yeah, the
south?
same individual.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not a different truck or different company?
No, same guy. Yeah.
And then a follow-up question through you, Mr. Burns, is there any opportunity for us to get this asphalt done by any one of the companies working in the village in the next little while? Like I know we're doing Michigan and Livingston, we're doing,
Possibly, yeah, I believe the company that he got a price from is the company that's supposed to be doing the work on the path. So
okay,
they're already.
okay,
yeah,
so that makes sense. As long as we're just like they're doing work anyways.
Trying to.
Yep.
yeah.
Make it move quick.
Okay, thank you. And this will be something that you think will be done this
I
fall?
believe so, unless the weather really turns
Yeah.
really nasty in a hurry, but
Okay, thank you.
we will reach out to the vendor tomorrow and tell him where we want to go, and as soon as he signs the agreement, we'll
Okay.
give the okay to the contractors.
One other question I have, is it a one use?
Yeah, that was my intent, was just because then,
That covers the cost, but.
well, and then it kind of aligns us to have both then tenders for those two
Right.
spots going out at the same time.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you.
And I had one more follow-up. And have we had a conversation with the original applicant that they want to come back to our side? Like, are they content over where they are?
He's reached out to me a couple times indicating that he still wants
Okay,
to be on our side. But, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who would want to be on our?
Yeah.
I will reach out to him tomorrow and,
Yeah.
you know, that's why the motion says don't do anything until we've got
yeah,
a signed agreement, but
okay,
my understanding is yes, he wishes to be on the
the right side.
I'll move this motion. Want me to read it? Upon signing an agreement with the new vendor, village staff will be authorized to award that work to have upgrades made to the existing location to allow for a second food services vehicle, and that the work be funded through the working capital reserve, and that the funds from the lease agreement in 2025 be used to replenish the working capital reserve.
One second.
Seconded by Councillor Nocte. Any other questions? All in favor? Thank you.
And then the next item, the speed camera analysis, that's just Mike's kind of written summary of the data. I thought I sent out the data this afternoon, but apparently I only sent out one set of the data, so I gotta send out the others.
September was not in
Okay,
what was sent out. We had that to the operations.
yeah, it normally would be, this
next-
is a little bit out of the ordinary,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
normally would go to operations,
Yeah.
but,
We put it on for next month.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
I'll move that this report be received and filed.
Seconded,
I'll second that.
Councillor Mondu,
I have a question if I may.
Deputy Mayor Brown.
Just following up on the Venetian Boulevard camera.
it has
speed
been
thing.
ordered.
Okay,
I been confirmed, I don't know what the delivery date is, but it's all been ordered and it's on its
all
way.
right, thank you.
It could be here by now, but
Okay,
it's definitely been ordered.
and it's the very same style and everything. Yeah, perfect. I did have somebody ask me what happened to the smiley and sad faces on Front Street, but we've taken them out, have we? I'm okay with it.
I don't. know.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember think back, at the beginning when they were installed, there was something wonky about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were getting
smile when
a
you're
smile
going
face when you
fast.
were speeding,
Oh, okay.
But I,
and Mike
So
was
it's
gonna look
gone,
at
which
it.
I'm okay with. The smiley face made it look a little cheesy, and the one on Michigan doesn't have the smiley
Yeah.
faces, so.
But it
It's all
was,
good.
it seemed like it was reading incorrectly
Yeah.
when it should smile. So Mike was gonna look at it, so I'm assuming. he
Yeah, you got rid of the
got
smiles.
rid of
I
it.
believe he did tweak it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Getting a smile face for speeding, it's a little off. All in favor? Thank you. Okay. OLG,
just an informational report where we stand on this year's budget for OLG payments.
You have to receive and file that.
Sure.
I'll do that.
seconded,
I'll second that.
Council Mondu, all in favor?
And then the next, the memo we got from Sarnia Transit about their proposed changes to the route. And I think it explains it very well. It lays out in a couple of different ways that it's a 40-minute loop done every 80 minutes. And then it talks at the bottom what times on each day that it's going to be going. So I think we incorporate that as an explanation when we send out the survey questions. We're gonna basically send out the same document, just removing the reference to the costs. And see if there's any feedback from that.
I have a question, if I may, Marion.
Mhm.
So we're reducing the number of trips by about 25%, but our per day rate is staying the same. I understand that we're extending the route and providing more stops outside of the village, but I don't follow. It's going to give residents less opportunities to get on the bus by, I say, 25%, and we're being billed the same amount. Did they give any explanation as to why that is?
No, they didn't. I think just in the discussions, they're providing service to on a larger geographic area.
outside our boundaries though.
Fair enough, but I
Yeah.
would say most of our residents use the service to go outside of our
Yes, yeah,
boundaries, right?
yeah.
So I think it's expanding, and I mean, if you take, I guess I haven't done the math, but 12 times 30 is 360 minutes. 11 times 40 is 440 minutes of service. So we're actually getting,
That's only 9.
9 times 40 is 360 minutes. We're getting the same minutes of service for the village. So that, I think that's,
Yeah. Same number of runtime minutes. I guess
Yeah.
I'd say.
And if I can clarify that too, well, this is a little bit different than what I understood when I was discussing this with them. In our committee meeting. I think that the idea is that ideally, we'll have to see it at the survey, but this would save the residents who are riding a lot of time and make their connection easier. While it might run less frequently, that time would be saved in the distance that they're going on their trip, because it will connect at a main connection point instead of at Northgate, where it's the only one. And now if they are going to Northgate, they could still stay on and do just that. It wouldn't take them longer necessarily.
Yeah. Although through you, it could take somebody longer if they have to take the bus previous, because of the extended run, it takes them longer to get to where they have to go, right? So,
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
and with our frequency, our lack of frequency, it could really mess somebody up, but.
Mhm.
But the fact that people would be able to go direct to the hospital, direct to Northgate, direct to downtown, I think is
Should,
a bonus. So.
Yeah.
It's like a pros and cons
Yeah.
of it.
okay, so
just a motion. to
motion to be
receive and
taken
file.
by,
I can make that motion.
I'll
Thank
second
you.
that.
all in favor? Thank you. Okay. Next one is community events and public announcements.
I just have one. I just wanted to promote Pima Spirit Day is coming up Saturday, October 26th at the arena. Every division has a home game that day, and there's a lot of activity going on at the arena between face painting, some charitable stuff. They're offering mullet haircuts. I was going to get one, but my hair's not long enough apparently. But it's just a real great day, and they're having a little bit earlier this year to get the season kicked off. So if you're out and about, it's all day hockey and a lot of fun. There's poster contests and just a whole bunch of fun at the arena. So it's all day whenever we have a home game.
So you said the 26th, right?
Yes, yeah, this Saturday coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the last time was January.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
Yep.
That's great, because I didn't realize it was Saturday,
that's all I had.
and the kids get pizza. I think each
Yes.
team gets
Yep.
pizza.
Even the away teams, the visitors.
yeah. That's a great day.
Were that nice.
Okay, I wrote down a few things that we're getting into the season. So Remembrance Day for Point Edward is November the 3rd. And gather, I think they leave from the Sodas Club, so they should have it with me 10:45.
Yep.
10:45, and our wreaths, as I said, are downstairs to be taken that day. An email came out last night to people for like in the cul-de-sacs, so plant from Emily Cadu and Sasha. They are starting the planning for light up the cul-de-sacs. It'll be the 5th year. I can't believe 5 years already. Keeping the Grinch theme, because many of us in the cul-de-sacs bought Grinch stuff last year, so we get to use it again. And it will be Friday, December the 6th. So more to follow on that. And that is the following day then is Christmas in the Village on December the 7th. So they like to start on the Friday night with that, then Christmas in the Village. And then December the 7th, the evening is the Santa Claus Parade in Sarnia. And then, so I had the wrong date for the bridge reopening then.
Oh, yeah, the right date originally, but they moved it up.
Oh, I thought he was gonna do some other work. So we're moving it up to December the 23rd.
No, October.
Sorry. I was like all on this whole December run here. October 23rd, that's great. See that done early. Within budget. We'll find out Thursday. Okay, that's all I had for anything.
One
Council
thing.
Burgess?
I just want to mention that tomorrow is my parents' 60th wedding anniversary. The reason I bring it up is because they've spent every day of their 60 years of marriage as residents in the village of Point Edward. I also want to give a shout out to Bob Bailey's office and Marilyn Gladdy's office for getting all of the notifications from the King, the Premier's office, the Prime Minister's office to notarize the fact that they've been married for 60 years.
That is an accomplishment.
And I held the best for last, the plaque from the village of
Yes.
Point Edward celebrating their 60 years.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can have the mayor come over and drop
Yeah.
in and present that tomorrow.
You mentioned 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
If that's still,
That's a good time for them
That's still
still. I
valid?
talked to them
Okay.
today, so.
thank you. I had in my calendar. Is there any other activities? For the publication. Okay, thank you. So we move on to bylaws.
So this is just the regular review of the fee bylaw. There's a few things highlighted. Anything highlighted is changed. Some of them are already in effect, but just haven't been part of the bylaw. So the $1,500 license for a food services vehicle. There's a few new ones though. We've changed the fee for tax certificates from 50 to 60, and then we've added in a new fee for an emergency tax certificate. So if they want it in 2 days or less, it's $80 fee we're recommending. A change of ownership request is something that was brought forward by the treasurer, and lots of municipalities apparently have that. So we're suggesting a $30 fee for that. And then if
No, sorry, just thinking like
What is
changing. a
change of
car.
ownership? I sell my house and somebody buys it?
not, that's one example of it, but also if you're changing ownership, like if you're somehow giving it to your child. Any time that we have to change the records of ownership on the property.
So then the tax roll gets changed with
Yeah.
someone else's name.
Yeah,
Would that happen with a divorce? And,
it could potentially.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, hope I stay married 60 years then.
You're planning? No. And then the other fee in that department, a new $5 fee for a tax arrears notice. So we send out monthly notices to people who have outstanding taxes. There is cost, time for people in the office, envelopes, paper, all that kind of postage. So Jane suggested a $5 fee for that as well.
And I was gonna ask a question on, do we think that is sufficient to cover the cost? Like, we're minimizing the work that staff have to do to send
Yeah.
out another, paper envelope, and the stamp is about $3.50.
Yeah.
Should we look at making that 10 or,
We discussed it at committee.
oh, did you?
And we had the input from the treasurer, and
Okay.
that was agreed upon for, and postage was considered, photocopies, anything that, a lawyer would bill you for,
Okay,
because it is a legal document.
The other thing that changed here is we removed the blue boxes because we don't have those anymore.
Yep.
And then I think the other changes were in the water and arena area. And so the arena was, we just changed the rates in the bylaw to match what was approved at budget time last March. And then water, we changed the rates in the water department to what was approved last January. So those rates have all been in effect for a few months, but just getting the bylaw updated to reflect the charges that are in place. And then the other thing we talked about was upgrading building services fees. And I spoke to the building inspector, the chief building official the other day, and told her that we wanted to have a look at that. And so that's on their agenda to have a review of those fees as well, so.
Any questions? Councilor
Mayor,
Martin?
CAO, ever given any thought? I know a lot of municipalities do an auto inflation index every year on their fees. To keep up with the additional costs for labor and everything else that's involved. We ever given any thought to that?
I would say no. We haven't talked about something like that. It's something we could do. I mean, we have a percentage that we, every year, it's different numbers each year, but what we do with wages, we could apply those numbers to these fees as well, and it would I mean, I think you'd still want to review them.
Yeah.
Holistically as well, but it's something that you could, I think you'd want to be a little bit, I mean, you don't want to be charging $30.27.
Yeah.
For a dog license, for instance, right? You want to keep it, I think, at pretty much flat dollars just for simplicity's sake, but we could do something like that and say, what would it look like if we charged, if we added 3% to each of these fees? And I don't think there'd be anything unreasonable with that.
Yeah, okay.
So we can do that. But if I can do it now, if you like, or I can remember to do that next year, whichever council would like me to do.
I don't like it myself, but that's my own opinion. I prefer what we do. I mean, we look at it every year and bring up the issues.
We haven't, I was on finance for 2 years and we only made minimal changes and, I'm just saying maybe, that way we're recouping more revenue back. So that we're not, losing. I mean, right now, we're not getting anywhere ahead, we're losing money on this in some cases.
I hear what Councilman Mondi saying. I think if we did it annually, it would eliminate the catch up that we sometimes do where we'll notice a fee is falling way behind and then we do a big increase. I also understand from an administrative perspective, the need to keep an even dollar amount. So if you were ever to do a percentage increase, you'd want to somehow do to the nearest dollar or rounding of some sort, dollar or dime or whatever nearest, because you don't want something to be $11.94. But I do see, like, by not increasing it annually, we are going backwards, right? It's the same as the year we did the 0% tax increase. We went backwards. When you don't increase something, the wages of the staff to do the work went up. The cost to keep the lights on in here went up. Everything went up. But so I see both sides. Maybe we could
put it down as an annual, like we are with committees, for example.
Right.
Every January you review or whatever month you get, but
yeah, we review them whole,
Which we do. I mean, we
Yeah.
review them as staff and then bring recommendations to the committee. Committee may make other changes. But I think I don't think it wouldn't be a whole lot of work to just say, okay, take each of these numbers and add 3% to them and see what it looks like. Round them up to the next dollar.
Yeah.
And see where it takes us. It wouldn't be a lot of work to do. And it would. A lot of these fees don't generate a whole lot of money. I mean, we have 3 food service vehicle licenses, and that's probably, those 3 licenses probably generate as much as everything else put together. Severances and minor variances. But, we don't generate a lot, but every little bit helps too, so.
But I remember talking about that in the past, and we said, we increase this by $5, it was gonna be like about $5 in additional revenue for the whole year. So, because some of these are not very, so
Yeah.
we're hammering that one person that uses it
yeah.
for $5. So
But next year when we bring this forward in October or September, I'll do some calculations to see what it would look like with a 3-5% increase.
Whatever's decided upon based on the number.
yeah, maybe we present it with like 2 columns, one with what the staff are recommending changes to, and then another, what a global 5% increase would look like across the board.
Okay.
I guess the reason I'm a little bit reticent is we increase taxes. So what do people pay for from their taxes? Or are you just saying all of this is above taxes?
I think it is.
So
Yeah, these are kind of,
these are user pay.
Yeah.
fees for service type things.
That's all. I'm only concerned about whatever things should be covered. And then what other things you'd want to be collecting for.
So do we want to move this bylaw today then?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll move that bylaw number 26 of 2024, being a bylaw to establish fees and charges for the village of Point Edward, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed on this 22nd day of October 2024.
I'll second that.
Any more questions? All in favor? So that's carried.
I'll do com-
Confirmation.
I move that bylaw 27 of 2024 being a bylaw to confirm the resolutions of Pune Council, which were adopted up to and including October 22nd, 2024, be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed on this day, October 22nd, 2024.
Seconder. Council Doctor. Any, some questions on that? All in favor? Adjournment.
I'll move
Hey, you
that
want to
the
take it away?
council meeting be adjourned until the next regularly scheduled meeting, or I can follow the chair at such time as a special council meeting is held.
I'll second that.